Hi everyone. So obviously we've woken up in a post-referendum election day where 33 million people got out and decided to vote whether we should Brexit or whether we should keep working, have a place at the table with the EU to renegotiate and continue to renegotiate our position. I've kept quite quiet about this, but I guess the topic that I wanted to talk about right now was, regardless of what political allegiance you have, regardless of which way you voted, I kind of find it quite perturbing when people are asking other people to delete themselves off each other's Facebook page, because what happened to tolerance and debate and difference of opinion and having friends who you disagree with but you're still friends with them because you can talk about it and make a change and an impact by debating and discussing and communicating with each other? Because how else are we going to come together as individuals, as a unit, as a group, as a nation, as a city, whatever? How are we going to come together if we can't even sit in the same space and have these discussions and conversations? I just wanted to get that out there because I find it fascinating. Post-general election, what happened there, where so many people berated anyone who voted for the Tories. For instance, obviously I volunteered on the election campaign. I've worked with the Tory party, that's no secret. But I guess now when I see the same level of animosity and people being vilified for their beliefs one way or another, if anything, if this is a true democracy, we should be enabled to have and freely speak with whatever decisions we take if we choose to share it. I got in a fabulous Twitter debate with a dear friend of mine earlier on today who was a staunch Remain campaigner. I was very much undecided. I'm not going to tell you how I voted. I reserve the right to keep that private and to myself. There is a reason why when you go into a polling booth, you actually do not share with anyone else how you voted, right? So calling people up, calling people out, saying that, for instance, oh, I had today, oh, I thought you were smart, I thought you were intelligent, I thought you read. Bullshit. Sorry I'm swearing, but that's actually very condescending as a tone to take. And I'm really disappointed at that's the level of some of the conversation that's been had today in waking up in this debate. I'm actually jumping on a bus, so bear with me. You can either stick or stay. So I just want to know what you guys are thinking and what your kind of thoughts are on this, because I think it's really horrible for anyone to say to another that you should not be my friend on Facebook anymore if you voted one way or the other. I think we're in a space now where we should be able to say, feel, think and do what we can. We live in a free country, and if anything, you can prove yourself wrong and hopefully be humble enough to appreciate that you have been wrong, but surely you should have tolerant friends who will take you on that journey and kind of move and grow with you. So currently on the bus, it's packed. I can't go anywhere else, I'm afraid. I am probably going to chew the ear of the driver. Welcome to London. I know I've got a couple of you watching. I've actually not done a Facebook Live conversation like this because this is the first one. I think the first one I did was at Google last week with Eric Schmidt, where I kind of recorded the conversation. Just got a comment here from Jeremy. Hey Jeremy. Thank you. I kind of used Periscope and I decided to do this on Facebook Live today purely because this seems to be the place where everyone is really commenting heavily. It's actually quite depressing. If this is the decision that millions of people made around the UK today, then surely we now have to suck it up in a really kind of harsh way, if it sounds harsh, and really now try to make the best of the situation that we can, because why else, I'm sorry I'm on a bus, but how else are we going to deal with what we've been dealt with? And actually for all those millennials, all of those people that are really perturbed and really upset with the result, yes, it impacts on your generation, but if you're not involved in that next conversation of how we're going to take the negotiations to the next level and really negotiate the enforcement of the act that will really kick off the chain of events over the next God knows how many months, we still have to build that team. Nothing is lost yet. We still have a way to be involved in this conversation, and how we act, how we pull together, regardless of what you felt about the result. This is your chance to now make that change if you want to, or if you get stuck in, or if you get involved. So, I mean, I guess I didn't really want to sit. I'm on the move and type. I decided to just broadcast, and this is probably the most open I've been about the referendum and the conversations. It's the first time in over a decade's worth of working in political campaigns and referendums in the UK that I've not worn a campaign badge or t-shirt, and I specifically haven't because I wasn't necessarily swayed by either side. I wasn't happy with how the campaigns were run. I was not happy with how the conversation and narrative was being very scaremongering, was very overhyped, was very inflated. And I think that's the disconnect in politics today. You know, we're talking about getting millennials on board to vote. You want Gen X, Gen Y to vote and get involved in politics. People tell you that very Gandhi-esque way to be the change you want to see in the world, but if you look at Westminster and who represents us, we don't even have enough women there, let alone people of colour, let alone the diverse range of people and all the backgrounds that we have from all around the UK. So, you know, London isn't the centre of the universe. A lot of people are biting back now because we're in 2016, and a lot of the infrastructure that we take for granted here in London, you can't even find outside of the M25 in some places. And in my travels around the UK, when I've been on road shows with certain clients I cannot name, to plug in a laptop to do a presentation for a huge world tech company, and there's not even enough power in the electricity wires to drive charge into that laptop to charge, let alone getting on Wi-Fi. Really? Are you really going to have this conversation? So yeah, people are kind of being quite good with me. I'm currently on the 155 bus, heading down to Tooting. So yeah, I guess ran over. Jeremy, you're the only one who's commented. I really appreciate you giving me your thoughts. I've got 9 of you in here. I have no way of knowing who you are. This is the first time I've done a Facebook live broadcast like this. I tend to do Periscope. And actually one of the things yesterday that really pissed me off was on the way to the ballot station, my polling booth, just off Balham High Road, there was literally no signage. Forget it being a general election year, whether it tends to be like a ton of signage, there was one sign. When I asked the electoral return officers who were actually monitoring the polling booth, they actually said, oh, because it was raining today, we decided not to put out paper signs. It's 2016, can we not get laminated signs? Not only that, the main entrance to the polling booth is normally straight off the high road. Instead, you had to go through lots of really like narrow back alleys, and I saw plenty of women with pushchairs that found it very difficult. My next door neighbour is way into her mid-80s. It was very difficult for her to probably get to the local polling booth to get out and vote. So forget it, whether it was raining, whether the signs were laminated, there was some really weirdness there was lots of great weirdness going on in the universe yesterday. And I only hope that when America gets to the booths to vote in the presidential campaign, that people really wake up and take charge of the world that they want to live in and shape and work in right now, because it's up to us, it's up to all of us. So if this broadcast has impacted you in any way, if you're pissed off with me, I'm not telling you how I voted one way or another. I reserve the right not to have to say. But for anyone who's asking anyone else to delete themselves off Facebook if they voted to Brexit or if they voted to Remain, wake up, smell the coffee. You have to be more tolerant in this world if you're going to impact change. And I feel like everybody in the bus is staring at me, and this is really awkward. So I'm probably going to wrap up this this conversation. I just didn't know what else to do, and I had no other way to have this conversation because writing about it was going to take me too long. So, sorry, bartering. reason. So I don't know what else to say, guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys have any questions or comments or thoughts on what you think went down yesterday. I was actually super busy yesterday running an awesome virtual reality kind of tech showcase event with an awesome company called Subpack. And quite frankly, it was refreshing not being in a political bubble and actually just getting on with my life and my work and my passions. Because lo and behold, that's what we have to do regardless of what the decision is today or was going to be today. So I just don't know how voices like mine get heard. I don't think that the media particularly gives a damn. I don't think that my peers particularly give a damn. I think that it's incredibly frustrating when you don't know where you can have this narrative or discussion or conversation in a safe place. I'm literally doing it right now on the 155 bus to Tooting Broadway because I feel so incensed by what I've seen by way of messaging. And the funnier kind of status messages are the ones that are actually getting me through to today. And I think this whole national kind of swell of like the world is ending and doom and gloom. Well, wake up, people. If you're going to be negative and gloomy and annoyed, well, you're only going to magnify that for yourself and everyone else around you. So do what I'm doing, shake it off, get up, face the day and work, because we have no other choice when this decision has been made by masses and masses and millions of people. So that is why we have this democracy. Whether you believe in the reasons of why we had this referendum or not, yes, it was a manifesto pledge. Obviously, it's a big day for David Cameron. He's announced his resignation. I'm not going to make any comments on that because obviously I work with the dude. But I will say that I think it's been a very somber tone and a very respectful, sensitive kind of day, particularly from the Remain camp, from the Leave camp, when Boris and Michael Gove got up to make their big statement. I think that's right. I think it's respectful. I think that we need time. Today is Cameron's day. I think that who knows what's going to happen. I only hope that this shakes up politics in the UK in a way that engages many more people across every age group, across every background, across every race, because god damn it, we need it now more than ever. That's it. I actually have nothing else to say. I'm kind of all ranted out. I think I'm going to go and run and hide and sit on the top deck because everybody on the bottom deck now knows all of my political opinions. Sorry. Just got people getting off the bus. Thanks, Cav. So I guess my final remark is just be tolerant with each other. I know it's really difficult when you see status messages in your face and you're disappointed with a result. I think it's easier to have a discussion with people when you have a friendship, relationship, working relationship with them, to debate and discuss what your differences of opinion are. I think I don't engage with trolls online. The reason is that you don't have that rapport or relationship to enable that change that you want to see. And I learned that from Kerry Washington when I saw her speak at South by Southwest this year. If I could have a face-to-face discussion with anyone, if anyone wants to have this discussion, I'm open to it. Any of my friends, the door is always open. I don't judge people for whatever decisions they make in their life, but I'm here to support them one way or another. We're not in each other's lives for no reason. And the main thing is that you got out and voted, right? If you didn't have a voice. If you at least spoiled your paper, people might be calling you dumb or stupid because you don't know to tick one box. Well, actually, that's a protest vote, and that gets logged. Not going, not getting counted, that doesn't. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna stop annoying everybody on the 155 bus to Tooting Broadway. I'm here now. That's it.